on what I figured out about overblowing harmonica. Now on bends, when it came to doing draw bends, the first thing that got me going was Mitch Granger's videos that he put on YouTube, and basically how he described it. So you're breathing in like Darth Vader, you're doing a in the back of your throat, and you're lifting the tongue up and back. So the first bend you get is going to be a 1, where it's like this. And then I managed to knock loose a 4. And I mean, for the longest time, I was just working with just this one bend. I had no idea what was going on, but since the first hole is how it is, it's very quick to bend in the first place. So that's a good place for anyone to start learning how to work your way into some blues notes. Now the fourth hole is, in my opinion, the second easiest, followed by the 6th. Then you have the 2 hard ones that you need for blues scale in the bottom part of the part here, which are 2 and 3. 2 and 3 do not bend as easily, especially the 3 hole, but they offer more notes. So where it would be like this, 1 hole, 4 hole, 6 hole. You'll find that there's a sensation over the tongue like a single column of air that travels down and up and back behind the tongue. And there's a feeling of pulling on it. And your bends are not going to be clean for a long time. All that really matters though is that you just keep the harmonica in your mouth, keep blowing on it. And you play it without an objective. Eventually you find that you're good at harmonica. Because when I picked this up, I really didn't think it was going to be a thing I could get good at. But eventually it just became about just keeping it in my mouth, keep playing with it, keep playing around. It doesn't even have to sound good. Just enjoy the act of having it and playing with it. It's fun. This is a toy as well as an instrument. And eventually I found that I had these techniques coming along. And it was the same for my overblow, which is what I'm going to go into in a couple minutes. So for the 2 and the 3, you got, so it goes down 2 semitones. For the 3 semitones. That's 3. This is 4. So just remind me in case I forget my math. I've also found recently, like I would draw on the harp using the space in my mouth, so it would sound like this. It's really up on top of the lungs, but to make a nice sounding bend, it has to go down to the bottom of the lungs, smooth and easy, just as if you were breathing normally. So instead of this, you get. So that's bends, and all your draw bends are from 1 to 6. You don't usually use the 5 bend except for maybe some inflection, because it doesn't go down a full half tone. But after the 6th hole you go into blow bends, because 7 through 10 for whatever reason do not draw bend. Or if you try to draw them, they tend to just really sound really horrible, like nails in chalkboard bad, seriously. And the key to blow bending is pretty much just keeping your mouth in the same shape as you would in a draw bend and sending the column of air in the opposite direction. A really nice little column that you use. When it comes to overblows, which I'm just getting into now, now it's another one of those things where I thought, no fucking way. But wait. It's the same position as doing a blow bend. Getting into blow bends is another step where you're trying to figure out how to do something that you have no basis for. But it's not as hard as trying to figure out bends the first time, because you're using the basic mouth position and dynamic as in a draw bend. So eventually you're going to get a little inflection on the notes, 7 through 10. And then from there it's just a question of refinement. So blow bend is not going to be as hard as it was to figure out how to do a draw bend. Then from there you do overblows. So 6 through 10, and then 7 through, or yeah, 0 through 10 basically. So 7 through 10, I have some work to do to make it sound better. But see, I found that there's a lot more play with the blow bends than there is with the overblows. So where you don't have it right, you still have something to work with on a blow bend. Where in an overblow, your mouth is in the same position and the air column more or less travels the same way as a blow bend, but there's no room for error. But what clued me into it was a few videos I watched online, and I just tried bringing it down from the 7 blow bend to the 6 overblow. For the longest time I couldn't get it to hold a stable note. I could barely even get it to make an inflection. So for the 6 overblow, for me, for the longest time, it would sound like, right? So just recently, I worked with the 7 blow bend like this, and I went down to the 6 hole in the same position, same column of air, and I started getting solid notes. So. Just tonight, I've been trying out the other holes, which is the same process it was for me with bends. So that you get a hole that you're working with, you just have to try experimenting the other holes. That's a completely kind of new lesson to figure out the next set of holes. But the skill is the same. It just takes tweaking. Six. A lot of work to do. I don't mind saying that that's the case, but you know, it's just a matter of keeping this in your mouth. Keep working on it. Play with it. You know, it's not about where you're going to get to. It's about, you know, do you have fun with where you're at? Don't look over there. Just look right here. Get it.